In our series on integers, today we will talk about division of integers. This will be the final part in the chapter of integers. During our earlier lessons, we have discussed two rules for solving integer problems and we call them golden rule number 1 and golden rule number 2. Now the same two rules are going to be applicable for solving division problems as well. And we will show this by taking up some examples here. Let's start. Minus 240 divided by plus 12 will give us minus 240 by plus 12. Minus and plus will give us a sign of minus here, and 240 by 12 is 20. So using the same rules, we were able to reach the answer quite quickly. So now we change this example a bit by changing the sign of 12. That is, this time we are going to take it as minus 12. Now we solve it. Minus 240 by minus 12. Minus minus gives us positive and the answer remains the same, that is 20. So here minus is actually cancelling out from top and bottom. So these were two examples. Now let's take one more example to gain more clarity. We will take minus 19 plus 19 square brackets divided by minus 5. What does it give us? It gives us minus 19 plus 19, which is equal to 0. So now we have to divide 0 by minus 5. So what do we get? We get 0. So we can just complete it here. So 0 divided by minus 5. So this gives us 0. Now in these examples, if we see in all the three examples, we use the same rules. That were rule number 1 and rule number 2. And in all the three cases, solving the problems related to division of integers was quite easy. Now let's move on and discuss some properties for division of integers. The first property we will be discussing is closure property. Integers are not closed under division. Now this means that the answer may not be an integer. So let's check it out. Let's do this with an example. Let's take plus 9 divided by plus 2. Now here what do we do? Plus 9 divided by plus 2. It will give us answer plus 4.5. Now if we see that 4.5 is not an integer. So we started with integer plus 9 and plus 2, but the answer plus 4.5 is not an integer. So integers are not closed under division. Now the second one is commutative property and the third one associative property. In integers, division is not commutative and it is also not associative. So we can write here that these two properties are not true for division of integers. With this, we move on to the next property. This property says that for any integer, if we divide it by 1, it gives the same integer, which means similar to the identity thing we have been learning all along. Let's take an example. We have minus 5 and we want to keep its identity as minus 5 only. So what do we divide here with so that its identity does not change? So the answer is we have to divide it by 1. So this was the fourth property. Now we move on to the fifth property that says for any integer 0 divided by it. Let's say this. Our integer is minus 9. So 0 divided by 9 minus 9 will give the answer 0. So these were the properties of division of integers. Now we talk about another topic, that is order of operations. Now order of operation means that there is an order in which we have to solve different operators given in a mathematical equation. When we have many operators in a single mathematical expression, it gets confusing as to which one to solve first. Now this confusion we can see by taking an example. Let's say in a class a teacher writes 24 divided by 6 into 2 on the board. Now there will be some children who will do 24 divided by 6 first. They will solve this part first and write it as 4 into 2, which will take them to the answer plus 8. Whereas another set of students may think that they have to solve 6 into 2 first. So what they will do is 24 divided by 12, and this will give a totally different answer of plus 2. Now which one is correct? To understand this, there is a set rule in the mathematics that is called BODMAS rule. BODMAS. This BODMAS rule tells us in which order we should solve these operators in order to solve it correctly. Now here B stands for bracket, O for off, D for division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. So let's learn more about this BODMAS rule. So here we see that brackets off. Off is a kind of multiplication. This will be dealt with in our later chapters. D is for division, M is for multiplication, and this multiplication is the regular multiplication which we have been doing. A is for addition and S is for subtraction. So whenever we have multiple operators, we should follow this sequence while solving. Now coming over to this, which is B. B is for brackets. Now there are many kinds of brackets which again follow a rule that has an order of solving. Now vinculum is the smallest and square brackets are the biggest brackets. So whenever we see all these brackets, first we have to solve this one, followed by parenthesis, then followed by this one, and then by square brackets. So if we keep this in mind, solving all the mathematical expressions will be quite easy. Now let's look at some examples here and try to solve them. The first example I am taking is 10 minus 5 plus 3 minus 2. When we solve this, we have to see that we have to open the brackets first as per BODMAS rule. So we do 10 minus 6 is equal to plus 4. So this was the first example. Let's take one more example. We are doing 15 minus 3 into plus 5 plus 10. Now let's see, here is the sign of multiplication, and we know in BODMAS rule multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So we will be solving this part now. So we get 15 minus 15 plus 10. So when we do open the bracket, what do we get? 15 plus 15 plus 10, which is equal to plus 40. So following the BODMAS rule, we are able to solve them in the correct manner. So now let's move on and do some examples to understand these rules in a better way. The first question says evaluate. Evaluate minus 42 divided by 3 divided by minus 18 divided by minus 9. So we see that there are two parts. One is this part and one is this part. So let's start. Minus 42 divided by plus 3 within bracket for this part, and for this part we have minus 18 divided by minus 9, and in between we have this division. So now when we solve this, what do we get? Minus 42 divided by plus 3, we get minus 14 will be divided by plus 2, and this will be equal to minus 14 divided by plus 2, which is equal to minus 7. So we solved this problem using the same rules, and now we move on to another question. This question says that an aeroplane was flying at a height of 1800 meter. If it descends at a constant rate of 60 meter per minute, how long will it take to descend to a height of 300 meter? For such questions, it's always advisable to make a figure here, a diagram kind of thing, to understand it in a better way. So the plane is flying at 1800 meter and it wishes to come down to what level? It wishes to come down to the level of 300 meter from the ground. So how much distance it wishes to come down? We can find out by subtracting 300 from 1800. So 1800 minus 300 will give us the distance, which is 1500 meter it has to cover. Now we know the distance and we also know the speed. The speed is here 60 meter per minute. So once we know the speed, what do? 1500 by 60. So 0 crosses out 0. 150 by 6 takes us to the answer of 25 minutes. So once we make the diagram and we follow the basic rules for solving integers, it becomes quite easy. So let's move on and take one more example and see. So this is simplify this expression, and we see that in this expression we have multiple operators. So what are we going to do? We are going to use the rule of BODMAS as well as the order of solving brackets. So when we use these two, let's see, what do? We see that the smallest bracket here is this. So binnacle. So we are going to solve this first. Let's do it. 20. Let's change the color. 21 minus 4 multiplied by 20 plus 18 plus 5. There are two brackets here as well. Yes. So in this, now we see that once we have solved this, 10 minus 5 brought us to 5. Now the second one which we are going to solve is 21 minus 4. We are going to solve the parenthesis. So we get 17 here. 17 into 20 plus 18 plus 5. Now what is bigger than parenthesis? We have the braces. Where are the braces? Here. So next is we are targeting this. Let's do this. 17 into 20 plus 23, which will give us 17 into 43, because the next one we took was square brackets followed by multiplication. So when we do 17 into 43, what do we get? We get plus 731. So we see that by following the rules of solving different operators, the sequence of solving different operators, the whole thing became quite simple for us. So with this, I am ending this chapter of integers, and we learned about addition, subtraction, multiplication and division along with the rules of BODMAS and the use of brackets. So now we will meet some other time with another chapter. Till then, goodbye.